In this video, we're going to be going over how you can take any Pokemon and make it the perfect version of itself. Now, as you can see, I've got 3 Audinos at level 51, but they all have different stats. Now, you might be asking yourself, how come 3 Pokemon that are exactly the same level and the same Pokemon have different stats? And one of the parts of that is EVs. Now, every Pokemon can have a maximum of 510 EVs, and you can have a maximum of 252 in one stat. So that means you can have 2 stats at 252, and then you'll have some left over for another stat. And each EV gives you 1 stat point at level 100 in that Pokemon. So a Pokemon that has 252 attack EVs, for example, at level 100 will get 63 extra attack stats. If you've been using your Pokemon since the beginning of the game, it probably has random EVs. So the reason for that is you get EVs by defeating Pokemon. In the summary menu, when you push down on the right stick, it's going to show you a yellow area on your Pokemon stats. If that area is bright yellow, it means you already have max EVs. If it's a little bit yellow, it means you have some EVs, but you're not maxed out yet. So the first thing we're going to do is reset all of our EVs. When we reset our EVs, the area in the middle will be a really small yellow, and that means you have no EVs at all and you're ready to go. Now, in order to reset your EVs, there's 2 ways. One is with berries and another is with mega shards, and I'll show you both. But first, we're going to talk about why it's important to have each Pokemon have different EVs. So for example, these are actually the stats of a Charizard. You're not going to be able to find this in the game. You're going to have to use auto-game tools to get this. As you can see, Charizard is naturally a special attacker because it has a special attack stat of 109, whereas a physical attack of only 84. So when you want to be making your Charizard, you want to be getting more special attack than normal attack. But because there are mega evolutions in this game, that can change quickly. So these are the stats for a Mega Charizard X. So Mega Charizard X actually has an attack and a special attack that's exactly the same. It also gets some physical defense, so it can be more in the fight and you can use it as a physical attacker. On the other hand, Mega Charizard Y gains even more special attack. It goes all the way up to 159 special attack and also gains special defense. So depending on what Mega Evolution you want to use, you also have to think about that when you're picking your EVs. Now let's talk about resetting our EVs. Now, the first way to do it is the classic way of doing it in other Pokemon games. You can buy berries that you feed to your Pokemon and then it'll reduce their stat by 1 in that stat. So for example, if you were to feed a tomato berry to your Pokemon, it would reduce its speed by 1. Now this takes a long time to do, and in Legends Z8, there's actually a faster way to do it. I'm going to show you that right now. So once you progress through the story enough, you're going to unlock the Rust Syndicate office. In here is going to be an NPC that you can talk to. You give them 5 Mega Shards and it will reset all the EVs on your Pokemon. This is going to be way more time efficient than the berry method. So once you walk in, you talk to this NPC right here, you give them 5 Mega Shards, and then you select the Pokemon you want to reset, and it will reset all the EVs for that Pokemon. We're going to select Emboar because we've been using it since level 1. It has all sorts of random EVs that we need to reset. So you're going to pay the 5 Mega Shards and it's going to reset all the EVs, and then we'll have a base Pokemon that we can work on. So now you'll have a base Pokemon, and we're going to use this Charizard as an example. You can see in the middle, the yellow is not very bright and it's not filled out. That means that it has no EVs used right now. Now we're finally ready to start customizing our Pokemon and making them perfect. So there's 2 ways you can train the EVs on your Pokemon. One is going to be less expensive but slower, and the other one is going to be more expensive but faster. Now the first way of getting EVs is by defeating Pokemon. When you defeat a Pokemon, depending on what type of Pokemon it is, your current Pokemon will get their EV up. So each Pokemon that you defeat will bring up your EV by 1, but you can make it better by using certain power items. What these are going to do is the type of item you equip, you will gain that EV plus 8 whenever you defeat a Pokemon. Let's say you're trying to get your attack stat up. If you defeat a Pokemon that gives you 1 attack stat, it will take you 252 fights to get your EV all the way maxed out. But with the power item, you can get 9 EVs just by defeating 1 Pokemon. So instead of having to do 252 fights, you can just do it in 28 fights instead. You can get power items by either unlocking them on certain side missions, or you can buy them from the Quarticle building with Mega Shards. This method is going to take you longer, but it's going to be less expensive than the other method. Now to get each stat, you're going to have to fight a certain Pokemon. So I'm going to put a little chart up here. You can look at that and you can see what Pokemon you're going to have to fight to get what EV. So for example, if you want to get your HP EV leveled up, you want to go to Wild Zone number 19 because there's going to be a lot of Pokemon over there that give you HP EVs. If you want to get attack EVs, go to Wild Zone number 8. And a lot of the Pokemon make sense. So for example, if you want to get defense, you beat an Onix or Aaron or a Larian. So if you're defeating a Pokemon and you look at it and you're like, okay, this is probably a defensive Pokemon, you're probably going to get defense. So this is the first way of getting your EVs trained up. It's going to take you a little bit longer. Now I'm going to show you the second way, which is going to be way faster. Now for this method, we're going to be going to any Pokemon Center and buying vitamins. Once you go to the Pokemon Center, you're going to go to the bottom of where you're going to buy stuff, and there's going to be all sorts of vitamins that you can buy. So each vitamin is going to cost you 5,000 Pokédollars, and it's going to increase your EV by 10. So in order to max out one stat, it's going to cost you 130,000 Pokédollars. So to max out two stats, you're going to have to spend 260,000 Pokédollars, but it's going to be instant instead of having to do 28 Pokemon fights with the other way. So once we get here, either you're going to buy 26 of the vitamin or you're going to buy 25 and use 2 feathers. The 25 vitamin and 2 feather method is going to be more efficient. So if you can do that instead. So for this specific Charizard, we're going to be maxing out his HP as well as maxing out his special attack. Now in Legends ZA, speed doesn't matter as much as it does in other Pokemon games. So these are the 2 stats I recommend. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the HP up vitamin, give 25 of it to our Charizard, and then we're going to go down and feed it 2 health feathers. This is going to be the most efficient way of maxing out our HP stat. So next we're going to be doing exactly the same thing, but with the other stat. So in this example, we're getting our special attack up. So 25 special attack vitamins and 2 special attack feathers. And that is going to be enough to max out our Charizard HP as well as special attack. So after doing all of that, once you go to the stat menu and you see this sparkling, that means that you're maxed out EV in that stat. So because we have 2 maxed out stats, we only have 4 left over. You can put it in any stat that you like. So just with that simple EV trick, your Charizard is now a lot stronger. So as you can see, we were able to go from 126 special attack to 159 and 159 HP to 192 HP without leveling up at all. EVs are going to make a huge difference. For each stat that you have maxed out, you will get 63 extra stat at level 100. So if you have max EVs in attack, you will have 63 attack more than a Pokemon that has 0 EVs in attack at level 100. Now the next thing we're going to talk about is a Pokemon's nature. A Pokemon's nature generally increases one stat while reducing another. So in order to change our nature, we're going to need a mint. And you can get that by going to this location next to Wild Zone number 3. Now here you can see all the natures that exist in the game that are going to give you a bonus. There are some that are neutral that don't change anything, but these are the most important ones. Now of course it's going to be hard to remember all of these. There's only really 2 that you have to pay attention to though. The first is going to be adamant, which is going to increase your attack while lowering your special attack. And the other one is going to be modest, which is going to increase your special attack and lower your physical attack. So you're going to be building most Pokemon either exclusively as physical or special attackers. Very rarely are you going to have both. So these 2 natures are going to increase the attack that you care about, whereas decreasing the attack that you don't care about. Now once you come to this alley right here, you'll be able to buy every single mint and all the berries except for the speed mint. The speed mint for some reason is in another location and I'll show you that later. For each mint, you're going to have to pay 20,000 Pokédollars. And to get the modest mint that we need for our Charizard, we're going to have to come to this NPC right here and we're going to buy the modest mint. And just in case you need to find the speed mints, they're over here. We're going to head to Cafe Gallant right under Wild Zone number 7. Once you fast travel over here, you're going to run forward a little bit and there's going to be a stall. And this is the NPC that's going to sell you every single speed mint in the game. Now next, we're going to go to the main menu and feed our modest mint to our Charizard. This is going to increase the special attack of Charizard while reducing its physical attack, which is exactly what we want. Now we've done all that, our special attack went up all the way to 174 and our normal attack went down to 90. Now like we said before, we only care about special attack because that's how we're going to be building our Charizard. So at this point, we've gained almost 50 attack stat just by going in and changing our EVs and changing the nature of our Pokemon. Now, once you beat the game, you're going to unlock the judge function, which will allow you to see what your IVs are. Your IVs are going to be described by these words in your stat menu, and this is what that means. Your IVs are going to be described from no good all the way up to the best. So no good means you have 0 additional stats in that stat, and the best means you have 31 additional stats. So you can use this chart to understand what IVs your Pokemon has. And every Pokemon will have different IVs. These are actually chosen when the Pokemon is spawned. You can make your IVs better, but it's very hard. I'll show you later on how to do that. But this is the reason alphas are so good in this game. An alpha will always be guaranteed to have 3 best stats, whereas any other Pokemon will roll randomly. So for example, this Dragonite has best attack, defense, and special attack. So now I'm going to show you how you can improve your IVs. We're going to head over to the Justice Dojo. And over here, we can talk to an NPC that we can give bottle caps to hyper train our IVs. Now bottle caps are going to be extremely hard to get. You can get them from Mabel's rewards. And also you can get them from the Infinite Royale at the end of the game, but they're very rare, so use them sparingly. Once you walk into the dojo, you're going to talk to this NPC right here. It's going to say hyper training on top of them. This NPC will give you an option of using regular bottle caps or gold bottle caps. Gold bottle caps are very rare. They're going to increase all your IVs to the max, whereas regular bottle caps will increase 1 IV to the max. So for example, this Charizard right here has no best IVs, so we're going to have to use 5 bottle caps if you want to max everything out. If you don't want to max attack, we're still going to have to use 4 bottle caps, which is a lot. Even from the Infinite Royale, you only have a 6% chance of getting a bottle cap reward at the end of the night, so it's very rare to get. Now this is exactly the reason why you want to be getting as many alphas as you can. For example, this Dragonite is already going to come with 3 stats that are maxed out. So what that's going to mean is, for every alpha, even if you want to max out the stats, which you don't have to, but if you want to max it out, you're only going to have to use 3 bottle caps. Now right next to this NPC is going to be another NPC that's going to allow us to plus our moves. Now plus moves use a quarter of your Mega Bar to do a move that is a lot stronger than your regular move. Now most of the attacks on your Pokemon are going to get a plus attack when you level up enough. But if there's a move you like and it doesn't have a plus, what you can do is you can use a Seed of Mastery with this NPC and plus that move. And you'll get Seeds of Mastery every time you defeat any alpha. And once you do plus this move, it will stay plus for the whole game. So if you use a Seed of Mastery on one of your TMs to plus it, you will be able to use that plus move on every other Pokemon as well. Next thing we're talking about is how do we decide what stat we want to level up on what Pokemon. So you can use out-of-game resources such as websites to kind of show you, is this Pokemon a physical attacker or a special attacker? So for example, Machoke is going to be a physical attacker, whereas Alakazam is going to be a special attacker. And you can use this knowledge to make your Pokemon the strongest that they can be. You also want to make sure you're using the right moves on the right Pokemon. If you want to be using a physical attacker, make sure it's using the physical attack category. If you're using a special attacker, make sure you're using the special attack category. For example, for our Charizard, only use attacks that are in the category of special attacks because they get the bonus damage. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If this video helped you out, please give me a like and subscribe. I'm going to be making more guides like this.